everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Kaminski, I'm a guitarist from the UK, and today we're going to check out the brand new OMNIBASS from Submission Audio. So if you haven't heard of Submission Audio, they're a company based out of Australia, and they basically make insane world-class bass VST libraries. So you're going to be using it like a MIDI instrument, playing it in either with piano roll in your DAW of choice, or you'll be performing the parts on any MIDI controller, either to replace bass parts that you might have tracked that you aren't exactly happy with, you want a tighter performance, or you might even just be using this like I've done in the past as your main bass sound. You can really get an amazing final product with these plugins. So today we'll be looking at OMNIBASS, checking out everything that it has to offer, how it's kind of a bit different to previous products that Submission have released. Let's jump right in and check out the product's UI and see how it sounds, as well as all of those key features that you're interested in. Let's go. Alright, cool. So this is how OMNIBASS looks when you boot it up in default mode. Right off the bat, you can tell that it is an early ball bongo bass, 5-string. There's actually two of them in here. There's the purple one and the black one. And it's from the guys in the Omnific, insane bass players, and they deserve to have their sound recreated in digital form. So what we've got here is 5 sort of preset tones that you can kind of chuck on and roll with. If you want to use like Parallax or the Dark Glass plugin, you'd be wanting to stick to the DI, and it's a really lovely sounding DI. And you've got clean as well, a lot more spanky. And you've got grit, which is kind of like your typical distortion tone. Then this is very similar, but just with more gain. And then lead, you can use the mixer here, but by default, these two will be turned down, but you can kind of play around with them and add chorus and reverb for like the higher up things. That sounds really nice. You'll be able to do all sorts of fun stuff with that preset. But yeah, that's basically how it looks. In the mixer, like I just showed, you can kind of alter some parameters depending on the preset you're on. And you basically start playing and you'll be putting in notes into the piano roll, or you'd be performing the parts, but I usually will like to step right the parts in just to make sure that they're like 100%. Fans of Submission Audio will already recognize these dials down here that you can choose from a few different things. The humanize knob is really good. I usually set it around there. The position is fun too. Sometimes I'll leave it like 3 or 4, depending on the song. Some songs call for different positions just to access the higher notes on each string before going to these strings up here. And the other thing to take note of is the alternate picking grid down here. I usually leave it on auto because that's basically better than what I can get with any of these rhythms, but if you want to just make sure you're happy with when the alternate picking algorithm kicks in, you can change these, but like I was saying, I would recommend leaving that on auto. So the other thing you're going to want to spend some time with is articulations. There is the most ever articulations out of any Submission Audio bass as of right now. You have a whole load to choose from. Let's just ignore 4-string articulations. They're definitely useful, but you have an insane collection of sounds that you can grab at. So you've got all your slap, dead slap, pop, dead pop. But you've also got thump up and down, which kind of gets you a slightly different percussive sound in there as well. And new for this bass is all of these harmonic articulations. So you've got thump up, thump down, slap and pop. Just like over here, you've got slap, pop and thump up and down, but they are the harmonic versions. So you definitely get a higher pitched sort of sound. But they still carry the same sort of vibe as like the slap and the pops. They sound really, really fun. I used some of them in the demo song, and I'm going to show you how I've used articulations now. So I'm going to jump over to the full demo song Logic session, and we'll check out some of the bass parts, what I was doing, how I was achieving some of those sounds, and we're also going to look at what happens when you remove all the articulations as well. So let's jump into that. So you can use a lot of the articulations in this VST. I've used a lot of them in the demo song, so I'm just in that session now, and I'm going to show you a couple moments that are articulation heavy. and we'll kind of take them out, put them back in, and you'll hear the difference. Like, the amount of realism that you lose when you take away the articulations is kind of insane. So definitely recommend, if you pick this VST up, check out all of the articulations and have a play. And like, when you're writing your guitar parts, imagine everything that you're doing, like palm muting, pulling off, hammering on. You need to put as much of that care into the bass parts as well if you're going to be programming them like this. So here's a riff anyway. Sounds like this with the articulations in. It's just the very last riff of the demo song. So we've got a lot of articulations going on here. We've got some harmonic pops and slaps. And we've got some regular dead notes going on as well. So all of these down here, these super low notes around the C-1, -2 range, are the articulation triggers. And there's a couple up here just to take note of. By default, there's a few harmonic articulations right up at the top, just at C6. So be careful to check those out and not miss them as well. So if I take those out and if I take these out, this bass line is going to sound a bit different now. So I feel like there's not too much of an explanation needed there. The difference is pretty big. Like, you lose all of that implied groove when you remove the articulations. So if you are using VST basses like this, you're going to get the most out of them when you really dig into the articulations. Just how you would be using them all the time with your own guitar playing without even thinking about it. So you want to make sure you replicate those ideas into your bass parts and make sure you approach it like a real instrument as much as you can, and your parts overall should be sounding a whole load better as a result. On the flip side, it goes without saying, not every single part is going to be needing articulations. The default alternate picked articulation is perfect for, you know, quarter note, eighth note, like rhythms like this part in the song. Alright, that's OMNIBASS. Thank you so much for checking this out, and if you're interested in grabbing OMNIBASS, now is an amazing time to do so. If you click the link in the description, it's an affiliate link and you'll be helping me out massively. But if you have any questions, let me know below. Any other queries about the bass and the product, just pop them down below and I'll get back to you. Until next time guys, I'll see you in a bit.